We live yet? Yeah, we're live. All right. Welcome back to WMMA Now with your host, Chuck Stevenson. And welcome to the review for UFC 259 and the weekend in women's mixed martial arts. I'm going to give a few minutes here, wait to see if anyone arrives. So if you're watching some playback, you might want to see, go ahead and fast forward through this here. I'm still trying to get some things up and running. Got to check some stuff on iPad here. That's working. All right, so we're about 35 seconds in. Let's go ahead and get into the weekend's fights here. So first up, we are going to Biloxi, Mississippi for Icon FF5. Icon had four ladies bouts. Really nice to see. Got to catch some of them live. First fight, I believe this is the first fight of the evening as well. Griffin Fisk defeated Alexandra Ballo via submission due to standing rear naked choke. Minute 58 seconds, round 1 of 3. Griffin climbed 1-0. Ballo fell to 1-1. Nice job here by Griffin Fisk. Ballo seemed to want to take charge at first, but Fisk gradually moved out of the way, managed to get Ballo into the corner of the ring there, managed to sneak around, hop up on her back, sink in that rear naked choke, and just choked Ballo unconscious. Very nice job there for a pro debut there for Griffin Fisk. Nice way to start her career off. That was at 130 pounds, by the way. 130? Flyweight bout. So then at strawweight, Macy Breo defeated Shauna Ormsby via TKO, 4 minutes 50 seconds, round 1 of 3. Breo climbed 1-0. Ormsby fell to 2-3. Nice job. Another nice debut there for Macy Breo. I have to watch this fight again. I've been in the middle of watching them, rewatching them to do a full event review on these. But nice job there by Macy Breo. Then at strawweight as well, Isis Verbeek came in on short notice, taking on Valerie Wong, defeating her via unanimous decision. Verbeek climbed to 1-1. Wong fell to 0-2. A couple of Invicta veterans duked it out in that one. Nice win there for Isis Verbeek, who hasn't fought MMA since her debut back in Invicta 32 in November of 2018. So we'll have to see if she sticks around in MMA or if she goes back to kickboxing again. Then another strawweight bout. Emily King defeated Kayla Rocco via unanimous decision. King climbed to 5-4. Rocco fell to 3-3. King had landed a lot of really nice kicks. She has an awkward style, like a sideways stance, throws a lot of side kicks. Rocco had a hard time dealing with them. I think she also just seemed to have a hard time dealing with the southpaw stance of Emily King. So that's something she'll have to work on for the future. Rocco mostly working off of her boxing. Almost at the end of the third round, King was throwing some punches and Rocco was bobbing and weaving and bobbed down, and King landed a perfect kick to the head of Rocco, dropping her. King jumped on, tried to sink in a rear naked choke, but just didn't have enough time to get it done. So, and went to the judges. They chose Emily King. Rocco was disappointed, but it was a close fight, but I gave it to Emily King personally. But not a bad fight, not terrible, but not great. Then at Fight Club Rush on Saturday, this was in Sweden, we had one ladies bout at strawweight. Josephine Knutson defeated Adriana Fusini via unanimous decision. Knutson, successful pro debut. Fusini fell to 3-1. Fusini took this fight on short notice. I have not been able to watch the fight yet. Looks like, it is on Fight Pass, so I'll have to go and watch it. But from what someone told me, like the judges gave Knutson like 2 10-8 rounds, which very impressive there. Then at UFC 259 on Saturday night, we had a strawweight bout. Amanda Lemos defeated Livia Souza via TKO. 3 minutes 39 seconds of the first round. Lemos climbed to 9-1. Souza fell to 14-3. Lemos just took the fight to Souza, which was the exact way that she needed to fight. Very nice job there by Amanda Lemos. Just, Souza felt the power, didn't like it, and Lemos stayed in her face, pushing her around, bullying her, pushing the action, which Souza does not typically do well against. So obviously Lemos did her homework here. So nice performance there for Amanda Lemos. And I don't know if they'll give her a ranked opponent next, but it's going to be hard to see what they do with her because she's already 33 years old. Very powerful, strong, big for the division. So it'll be interesting to see what the UFC does with her. Then in the co-main event, Amanda Nunes defeated Megan Anderson in the women's featherweight title bout. Nunes climbed 21-4. Anderson fell 10-5. Of course, this was due to an inverted triangle armbar. 2 minutes 3 seconds of the first round. Anderson just had no chance in there. I figured this would be kind of a blowout fight. It'd be an easy win for Nunes, but this was probably Nunes' easiest fight in years. I'd have to look up when was the last time she got a finish this quick. Ronda Rousey only lasted 48 seconds. So, easiest win since Rousey. Second closest would be Julia Budd back in 2011. Beat her in 14 seconds. So, Nunes' easiest win since 2011, or second easiest win since 2011. No, I forgot Cyborg was there too. Cyborg was only like 52 seconds. So, but Anderson just, Amanda Nunes' nickname is the Lioness. A lot of people were calling Anderson the giraffe because of her legs. Anderson was like the slowest gazelle in the pack and knew it. She took one hit from Amanda Nunes and she was just out of that fight right away. Knew she did not have the speed or the power or the technical ability to keep up. She was just absolutely terrified in there with Amanda Nunes, and I don't blame her. And Amanda Nunes just made quick, easy work of her, just over 2 minutes, like I said. It's time. It is time now to shut down the UFC women's featherweight division. Even Nunes says she wouldn't care if they did it. So I think this is honestly the time to do it. And I know this is somewhat of an unpopular opinion. It's a divided opinion, really. There are people that really want featherweight to be built, and there are those that think it's just a waste of time. I'm on the waste of time right now. In the UFC, women's featherweight is a waste of time, and I think this is the time to just close that division down. Tell the ladies that can make 135, they got to make 135, and let the others go and try to let them go somewhere else. So yeah, Bellator would probably be the best. Felicia Spencer, I think if she really dedicated herself to her strength and conditioning and got in shape, that she could make bantamweight. She just carries so much extra fat into the octagon that I think she could make bantamweight. Now, granted, this is my totally unprofessional, non-professional opinion here. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a nutritionist, so I can't say that for sure. But it's my opinion that I think she could if she really worked at it. Megan Anderson, she's never going to make bantamweight, so she's kind of stuck there. But I just think this is the time to close the division. There's nothing else. And people will say, well, just let Amanda take a year off like she did from bantamweight and try to build someone else. There's no one to build. There's nobody to build. Cut Anderson now. Do Spencer versus Wolf, and then after that fight, they're done too. There's no point. There is just no point at this stage to be wasting everyone's time with this. There just isn't. They're doing nothing for the fighters themselves. They're not doing the fighters any favors. They're not doing the division any favor by keeping this up. This was the Cyborg Vanity division, and Cyborg is long gone. Close it down. But if that means they bring in 105, great. I'd love it. If it doesn't mean they bring in 105, that's fine too. But either way, it's time for 145 to end. Amanda Nunes getting it done once again, which was absolutely no surprise. Then we move on to early Sunday morning, and I did a fight companion for this. Deep Jules 32 went down in Tokyo, Japan at the famed Korakuen Hall. This was one about Aya Murakami versus Sakura. This is supposed to go down as part of the quarterfinals of the Atomweight Grand Prix. Unfortunately, this fight got canceled. Sakura missed weight and then got really sick, went to the hospital for, I think it was hypernia. So they canceled the bout. Murakami automatically moves into the semifinals. But moving into the pro bouts here. First up, at a 121-pound, minus 55-kilogram catch weight, Hebe defeated Kate Lotus via unanimous decision. Hebe climbed to 1-0, successful pro debut for her. Kate Lotus fell to 1-1. Hebe just showed she was a better fighter in this one. It wasn't a bad fight, wasn't a terrible fight. It was just okay. Minor, setback at the beginning of her career for Kate Lotus, but Hebe was really happy, did a nice job here. So congrats to her. Then at strawweight, Shoku Fujita had a successful pro debut, defeating Hime via unanimous decision. Fujita, of course, climbed to 1-0. Amiba Yuko Oya fell to 9-9. I was very impressed by Shoku Fujita's performance in this one. She had a jab, and she knew how to use it. She had length and reach, and she knew how to use it. And she took her length and reach and the jab and combined them together. You just don't normally see this all that much in all of MMA period, particularly in women's MMA, and you're never going to see that type of combination in a pro debut. But Shoku Fujita showed it. I mean, poor Amiba, she just never had a chance here. She was a shorter fighter. She didn't have the reach. She was just completely unable to get inside to land her own strikes. And then every time she went for a takedown, it was completely telegraphed. She wasn't able to set it up with strikes. And Fujita stuffed, I think, every single takedown defense. So for Amiba, I think that's like her 4th straight loss. Yeah, 4 straight losses. Probably time to retire. But Shoku Fujita, really nice performance in a pro debut. Just really nice. Then at flyweight, Yukari Nabe returned after over a year away, defeating Miko Nirvana Shimizu via unanimous decision. Nabe climbed to 9-3. Shimizu fell to 2-1. Nice performance here by Yukari Nabe. Just really, honestly, just dominant. I mean, not completely dominant, but just overall, it was never in doubt who was going to win this fight. Straight up Yukari Nabe. I felt bad for Miko Nirvana because it was her first loss, both as an amateur and a pro. And like she was crying afterwards. But honestly, there was no shame in taking this loss to Yukari Nabe, who's a veteran, This was her 12th fight. So no shame really in losing, but nice performance there by Yukari Nabe, who's coming off of some torn ligaments. So then we moved on to the Deep Jules Atomweight Grand Prix, which is to schedule the new Deep Jules Atomweight champion. First up, Hikaru Alno defeated Emi Sato via unanimous decision. Alno climbed to 7-4. Sato climbed to 4-6. Now, they actually used 5 judges for the fights for the what do you call it? The Grand Prix, and I believe, let me look up the decisions here. 3 of the judges gave Alno a 2017 score, so they gave her at least one round a 10-8, and then the other two gave her 2018 scores. So Alno just completely dominant in this bout. Took Sato down. Like, I think she only needed one takedown per round, and the rest of the round was spent on the ground there. My biggest complaint about Hikaru Alno, though, is that she is just too one-dimensional as like a pure wrestler. She just didn't try hard enough to advance her positions, didn't try hard enough to go for a finish. Even her ground and pound was very ineffective. I mean, she got a dominant win there, but it was more like she just prevented Sato from being able to do anything rather than the fact that she went for the win itself. I mean, like I said, dominant win there, but just I'm more disappointed by the lack of what Alno did than I am impressed by her win. But still, it's a win. She moves on to the semifinals. And I believe she'll be facing Aya Murakami. Then in the Grand Prix, Shiyu Park defeated Mizuki Oshiro via unanimous decision. Park climbed to 5-2. Oshiro fell to 2-3. Nisei is just never in this fight, really. I mean, it was all Park was the early favorite, and she showed it. She had the stronger striking. At one point, she had Nisei straight up running away from punches. I mean, Nisei tried to hold on, but after a while, even she knew she was losing, so she just kind of like clowned around a little bit. Park, I thought she showed that what she's been learning, training at Crazy Bee with Miyu Yamamoto. We actually saw Park try to take Nisei down on a couple of occasions, which we never see her do before. So she's shown that she's growing, even though she's spending time in Japan away from home for this Grand Prix. Nisei, I'll give her credit. You know, when they had the drawings for the brackets, Park was the first to pick her spot in the 4 tournament bouts, and Nisei was second, and she went straight for Park. So I'll give her full credit for showing the cojones to take on the early tournament favorite, but she was just outclassed in this bout. So Shiyu Park moves on to the finals. And then in the final bout of the evening for the Atomweight Grand Prix, Saori Oshima defeated Emi Tomomatsu via submission due to arm lock, double wrist lock, or Kimura, whatever you like. 45 seconds of the first round. Oshima climbed to 4-2. Tomomatsu fell to 15-18. Wow is all I could say. And that was all I could say this morning when it happened. I was just in shock at how fast Oshima just came out of her corner, took Tomomatsu down, worked for the submissions, and she tried for a rear naked choke first, didn't get that. Got Tomomatsu down and got that double wrist lock, and Tomomatsu, she verbally, I think it was a verbal tap because she couldn't move her other arm. So just shockingly fast submission. I looked it up and I couldn't see, you know, Tomomatsu, she's a well-traveled fighter. Like I said, 15-18 is her current record. She's on a skid. She's like 38 years old now. I picked Tomomatsu to win based on the experience factor, and I knew she was going in there hungry. She had talked about training up some things for her fight, for her training going into this one, and I knew this was her last chance at glory, so I thought, you know, she'd be really fighting really hard. But Oshima, she came out of her corner like a bat out of hell. 45 seconds at submission. Just crazy. And she, much like Amanda Nunes, Oshima had her infant babies in attendance. She has twins, and they were in attendance for the fight too. And I'm starting to think, you know, maybe there is something to motherhood and, you know, making these ladies tougher and more extreme. I mean, Oshima has taken a loss or two since having those kids, but man, both her and Nunes just boom, first round finishes because they had their kids in attendance. You know, there was a belief for a while that, you know, women fighters, they soften up after having a kid, but I'm not sure after last night. I mean, Granted, both of those are like anecdotal evidence, but we'd have to see hardcore because, I mean, granted, Nunes didn't actually give birth to her kid. Oshima did, but still, it definitely, I'm going to have to do some research on that because both of them had their infants in attendance and both of them just finished their opponents fast. Just really impressed by that first round submission for Saori Oshima. So that is, I didn't bring in I didn't transfer over the bracket picture, but so for the Deep Jewels Atomweight tournament, you're going to have Hikaru Alno versus Aya Murakami, and then Shiyu Park versus Saori Oshima, and that goes down, I think, May 3rd. And it's going to be the semifinals and finals in the same night, so it should be an interesting way to end the tournament. And Oshima and Park actually fought just back in December, with Park coming away via decision in a close fight, very close fight. So it'll be interesting to see that. And then Murakami versus Alno should be a battle of a BJJ specialist versus a wrestler. So that should make for an interesting one as well. So that's really all I have for this weekend review. I just wanted to do it real quick. I'm going to try to get out some actual videos, like recorded videos, and do some fight reviews for this week. You know, I noticed today that I'm kind of letting those slip, and I've been doing a lot more live streams, which honestly, they're kind of easier to do because I only have to do the prep work and then the live stream. Whereas with the videos, I have to do the prep work, I have to record, I have to edit, and then I have to upload. So I'll admit it is kind of easier to do these live streams, but I am going to get back to doing some recorded videos as well and some fight reviews. So anyway, if you're watching this on a playback, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like the video, please give it a like, share it as well, help grow the channel. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to WMMA Now, the most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.